Hey guys, what's going on? This is Josh D2, and you're watching some of how can I say this? It's Diablo 3 footage. It's currently the open beta weekend. If you would like to participate in this open beta weekend yourself, you can easily go ahead and click on the link down in the description below. And what I'm going to be showing you today is some wizard footage. And I'm going to be going over the game briefly and just simply state the raw mechanics of the game and compare it to my beloved Diablo 2 from the past. So as far as HUD-wise, as far as your initial graphics gameplay, it plays pretty much the same as Diablo 2. You have your left click, you have your right click, but they're going to do completely different things this time around. One thing to take note of is that your left click on default for the wizard, for example, is no longer like the sorceress where you swing a wand. You actually have a skill that's assigned, and it, no matter what, will throw something or do something with said skill. If we watch the video for long enough, hopefully you guys pay attention that long, you'll actually see that we get to level up and replace the first skill. Yeah, okay, some very basic linear questing as I noticed so far. To give you like a background on what I feel about the game as it sits right now, I'm disappointed with a couple of things, but the game is slowly growing on me. I'm not here to judge the game really as much as I am just to say the core differences and what you should expect. So, I already told you about the left click being your primary. The right clicking is going to be like your secondary attack, your magical attack. However, unlike Diablo 2, where you could simply pick from all your skills, throw them on the right click bar, use your mouse wheel to change through all of them, your F keys to select a certain skill in particular, and then cast it at will. Not so much now. Yes, you do have a mana pool, which does regenerate at a fairly decent rate, but at a certain level you will unlock one skill and then unlock another skill. There is no tree, and you will see that later on once I level up. Simply going through a lot of the questing right now if you're in the beginning of the game, and like I said, it's very linear. There is no decision making. You just go through the game and you basically beat it. There is no, working to get this build completed, working to be this type of sorcerer or this type of paladin. There is none of that because they don't want to have any of this overpowered bullshit that goes on. And I kind of see their point, but on the same token, I'm kind of like against it. So as you can see here, this is where the main skills are. This is my secondary skill that I just unlocked here at level 2. You simply attach that as your secondary skill. And now that is part of my right click. So wherever I right click, a bolt of frozen ice beam will go out and damage people, take away from my mana that's on the right side of the globe. And that's basically how it works. Later on down through, advancing through more levels, you actually can see what you're going to unlock a couple of levels later on. And an actual cool thing is regarding the skill runes. I have unlocked this on my monk, and I'll be doing gameplay footage on that later on. And what the runes do is that actually kind of you pick from different runes to boost your skill in a certain way. So it's kind of hard to explain without actually showing footage of it. But again, that is something that you unlock periodically in between unlocking new skills. Now, what you might notice is I have skills 1 through 4 which are currently locked, and as you level up you will also unlock things for there as well. And here you can see the ice beam, and it will take away mana and whatnot, but I still have my primary bolt of arcane plasma shit that I'm throwing instead with my left click. Nothing really too different here as far as skills are concerned. Now, as I mentioned, once you level up, once you get all of these new skills, you can pick and choose from them freely. However, if you are in the field like this as of right now, what happens is you're going to be playing the game, and you want to switch a skill, and it's going to take like 10 seconds to actually change over. There is no instant, pause the game real quick, change your skill loadout, and then continue playing. You actually have to do it on the fly, and then it takes a bunch of time for it to switch over. So it's kind of like, like a Guild Wars 2 style, where you have to like pick your build for whatever situation you feel like doing. Like if you're going to do a lot of AoE, notice once I level up, my primary skill, which is currently throwing this bolt of arcane plasma shit, is going to be changing into this AoE effect-ish lightning stomp, which is great for AoE, but it doesn't always hit the primary target every time that it should. So that's also a little bit of a downside. As far as like going from quest to quest, city to city, or just in general exploring, it's kind of like up in the air on whether or not it's even worth exploring. I've noticed that when I play on my monk, it's actually really good to explore. When I play on this character, I wasn't getting jack shit out of any of these little dungeon, mini holes, wells, things like that. It really was not working out for me at all.
Adventurer, scholar, and researcher. I share my knowledge of this.
Every now and then you'll come across the lore, and you can click on that, and someone will speak to you. Nothing really too interesting that I found here so far, but I'm sure it all ties in the end. We'll see if that is actually true when you actually are able to play through the entire game and not just the beta portion of it. Compared to the closed beta, the open beta, I'm pretty sure is actually featuring more questing, more leveling, everything in general, since the game is due to release in less than a month, so I hope that they have a lot of the kinks resolved at this point. As far as one thing that I do not quite like is that, you go through, you pick up gold, which you can actually just walk over gold and you pick it up now, instead of actually having to click on it every single time. That's actually pretty nice. You can pick up a sword. Okay, so your wizard right here, your female wizard, instead of using a wand to throw these arcane plasma pieces of shit, it then uses a sword, and that increases your damage, and that's fine, but what I'm still trying to understand is, when I'm a monk, and I have a sword, and you can go dual wielding, kimbo wielding if you must. I wonder why I have a sword in one hand and this enchanted mace in the other hand, but yet when I do my fighting animations, my punch, kick, punch, kick, and it's actually kind of cool, the fighting animations, I like them, but why don't you incorporate, the weapons with them a little bit? And actually, you see the weapons on his back, and you just see him punching and kicking. And, I see where this is coming from. I see the fact that, the monk is designed to be your martial arts kind of expert. What I don't like is if I have the opportunity to put on the sword and to put on the mace and to put on the shield, then incorporate it in or don't let me equip it. That's simply how it is. I mean, you had that in Diablo 2 where there was Necromancer only offhands, Paladin only shields, things like that. Incorporate the same thing over. I don't see what the problem is about it. You're going to see right here exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead, open up the menu, equip some of my stuff to my profile. Very simple, very basic. The inventory has not really changed all too much. What we're going to see right here is the sword is going to be replacing the wand. But yet, I'm pretty sure every time I left-click to throw the arcane pieces of shit, it's still using the wand. Which, again, it's the simple things. Blizzard, come on. Simple things. Maybe it's going to be resolved when the game is actually released, but as of right now, I am again, when I first sat down and I first played Diablo 2, I was instantly hooked. And from what I've been seeing from gameplay, the things that they've been changing in the game, I haven't really been impressed with a lot of this stuff, and that's kind of disappointing. I will also make note that the game is extremely easy. There was only one time that I had a bit of a trouble on my monk, and I was going against a ton of guys that I just kept on running around a certain area, and they just kept on grouping up to me. And you actually notice here toward the end of the video, I'm looking to finish up this quest, and I have to kill this certain person once I enter this cemetery. So what you're going to see here is I'm going to walk up through Old Tristram Road into the cemetery area, and I'm going to find the boss, and I'm going to instantly kill the boss. There's no reason why I should be instantly killing a boss, ever. Okay, level 3, we just popped on level 3, and what you're going to see here is I'm going to go ahead, and it says I got Shock Pulse. You have unlocked a new skill, and Shock Pulse is part of my primary left-click skills, so you can see here flashing on the upper left. So I'm going to click that. My first skill is the Magic Missile, and then Shock Pulse. going to go ahead and select Shock Pulse, followed by accepting that I want to do this. You're going to see the recharge happen down there in the bottom, and that's what I was saying about earlier. Once you select a skill, you cannot use it until like the very end of the recharge, and that's like, you know, on the fly skill changing not happening. And it's great for AoE, you know, but it's not all the best for single-handedly getting that one guy. So, you know, it's a trade-off, but, you know, it's depending on what you're doing. Are you going to be going against AoE farming? Are you going to be doing this or that? You know, you kind of pick your stuff ahead of time. I just like the fact that when I was playing a sorceress back on Diablo 2, that I could run in, throw a bunch of fireballs, frozen orb, teleport back, you know, all that fun shit, and just make use of all of the skills that the sorceress had to offer. Right there, glowing in yellow is the boss, and yeah, that was basically it. I mean, I don't know if she's like not, you know, good against cold or anything like that, but that was actually kind of disappointing how quickly she died. Like, there was no struggle there at all. Like, you know, don't struggle, honey. None of that right there. So, as far as boss battles have been concerned, and everything, like, you know, difficulty in general, not really enjoying the default setting all too much. I mean, come on. I mean, there's nothing wrong with dying. There's nothing wrong with dying every now and then. Even on a hardcore character. You know, that's the point of making a hardcore, so that it's like the challenge to stay alive. And as of right now, it's like, you know, just running around, just left clicking and watching things die, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. The environments here are great. The graphics are great. The random things that are hanging around, you know, looking for all this shit. But seriously, like, stuff like that is, oh, I can now see the reason why they took out the PvP arena stuff, because you see way too many of these wizards go in here and just pop guys off one by one because there's no dedicated healer class, and oh man, balance galore. I can only imagine what their job would be like doing something like that, but we're going to be reaching toward the end of the video here. This is just a short preview of what you can see with any character. You go through the same storyline, and you know, you can pick male or female character, but one thing I do like, waypoints. Doom. I do like how the waypoint is now. Instead of just flashing the screen there, you know, as the old style graphics are, it's a lot different. So let me know what you guys think about Diablo 3, and if you're in the beta, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.